You're tuned into Cuffing Season, the series.
Trey Walters.
I guess I'm Shannon Walters now.
Yes, married. We're married. Newlyweds.
Yeah.
And how long has it been?
How long has it been, Trey?
12 days.
Wow.
12 days, yeah. 12
yeah,
days.
very new. It's very fresh.
Mm-hmm. Wait, it's 12?
We'll say 13, but it's okay.
Well,
Hi. Well, I'm Cadeque Morgan. And
Nereé, also known as Amoya Ray.
the Morgans.
Morgans.
And they're married. I'm Joanna Eubanks.
And I'm Gavin Smelly.
Okay, and you guys are married.
Married.
How did you guys get to this place today?
wow. Started, like, what, grade 9-ish?
First of all, we were in the same elementary school.
We weren't.
We were in the
We were
same
not.
grade 4 class.
Says her.
Okay. He doesn't remember me, but that's fine. And then we reconnected on, Facebook and social media was coming out.
Oh, no, it was MSN Messenger.
Oh, sorry, MSN
Yeah.
Messenger. So grade
Or-
9, we connected grade 9.
Mhm.
He came over to like a church youth night.
Yeah, it was at Williams Parkway, I remember.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Gym night.
yeah, I remember. I'll never forget. I remember seeing her run across the what's it called, the gym. She ran across the gym, but she wearing like a all pink baby
It
fat.
wasn't big fat.
It was baby fat, all pink, and like for me, it was love at first sight.
Okay.
That's for me. Yeah, not for her though, obviously.
Grade 9 was how 14. We're 28 now.
Holy.
And it's
Wow.
just been on and off, and then at some point it became consistent.
Mm. Well, I proposed the previous July, and we just got married this past January, 13
The
years
9th.
ago.
Right?
Yeah, the 9th.
Yeah.
Okay, perfect.
Well, we first met in high school, grade 9. Yeah, we dated for a bit in that first year, and then
And then I dumped him. I'm joking.
actually she did.
I did. And then we reconnected years later. And we had a baby. And then we got married.
Yeah, and then we have another one,
And then we had another one.
and then we're gonna have more.
No.
Right, how did you guys get here today? Jesus. Because it wasn't voluntary, I'm just joking.
Papers.
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 You can.
Yeah, so I just needed to find a woman who come from Jamaica. And she said she'd give me the papers. And me say, you know what? How much you want for it? She said 0. So I just say, alright, cool, married.
Here we are.
Anyways, so me and Sandy, we met at a family gathering, and I seen her from afar, and I approached her as a gentleman would, as always, and I said, "Hey, young lady, how's your day going?"
That's a lie.
And then I asked for a BBM pin.
BBM, eh?
Yeah, remember
The
some
good
guest
BBM
guys.
days.
Don't make me feel old, guys, but yeah, BBM pen was a thing back then before the DMs and all these things. We used to PMs in. But yeah, so we we always been family friends, but we never really I guess got a chance to sit down and talk or anything like that. So finally got a chance to sit down and conversate, and we did a lot of communication through BBMs, and guys, it went well. Look at me now, I'm with Sandy. So it was was like one of them things where you knew that that's the one, so I don't want to tell her to make her keep floating right now, but she knows that when and obviously she probably looked at me the same way, right?
Yes, yeah, eventually.
Okay.
The reason why is because the first time I saw you, you had on dad's hall pants, and you know that. And that's not exactly my style, but I hadn't seen him in a while, and he was looking rather nice, but I presumed that he was younger than me. So I just said, and plus I was in a relationship.
I am younger than you.
By like a week and change. We're a week apart to the exact day of our birthdays. So I was in a relationship at the time and automatically just said, oh, we can hang out, so on and so forth. So we did exchange pins, and he was in town and asked if we could hang out. I thought nothing of it, really innocent. And then we actually went salsa dancing, and my girlfriend actually said, where are you? And I said, I'm salsa dancing just with a family friend. And I showed her a picture, and she's like, that is not your family friend. And I'm like, of course it is, I'm in a relationship. So long story short, we started spending a lot of time together platonically, but I realized my interest was swaying quite a bit. And so I decided to end that other relationship, and he was good enough to say...
She basically left him for me, guys. That's how I do. This is what I do for a living, but this was the last doing, of doing.
So I ended my relationship, and in ending my relationship, what I really liked was he basically said to me, you shouldn't jump into something right away. Make sure it's what you want and take the time. So we took the time, started as friends, and that was 11 plus years ago. So it really was the fact that it started on a friendship, because the reality is, if you're not at this stage yet, all the fun stuff that you see on the internet, all the fun stuff that gets your attention will change, such as your body, your face, your teeth, your hair. So if there isn't a legitimate friendship there that you can always go back to, chances are things will fizzle.
I did.
Without a doubt.
I'm a lover boy, man.
How did you know you loved her? I mean, being so young, how did you know what love meant?
Actually, I didn't even know what love. I just know I had a feeling, and I just thought it was love, and I just expressed that to her. Yeah.
This pimp.
Did I?
Yes, you did. You said I love you first in Maple,
Really?
outside of your parents' house, before you went to Korea.
I don't recall.
Don't
that.
recall that.
So in your mind, who said I love you first? Do you think it was you, but maybe just a different time?
It might have been me.
Mm-hmm.
Might have been me.
Because he's soft like that.
Yeah.
And I'm amazing like that.
No.
Yeah.
Because one of them things, you just want to, just trap her real quick. Just say, hey, I love you. But you don't know, you're not 100% sure if that's the one. It was the one in my head for sure. But I'm like, hold on, let me just... So just for, basically bought insurance basis saying, I love you.
Yeah.
Right? And then my insurance company came back to me and said, oh, this is the one for real. I'm like, all right, cool. So this is how we're...
You ever seen Forensic Files? You
But, yeah.
He said it first, to answer your question.
Okay. Yeah, all right.
Okay. And how long have you guys been married?
4 years.
So this April will be 5 years. Yes. And ladies, there's nothing wrong with having a timeline for which you want to wait before you get married. Even if they know, my rule of thumb was I want to see him good, bad, ugly, indifferent, happy, broke, every single stage. And if I still love him thereafter, I can deal with the rest. So it wasn't as though the intention wasn't there, but I needed to see him in all aspects of life. I didn't want to learn that after we got married, because that's scary to feel like you're living with a stranger. So really get to know the person ahead of time, because not just in marriage do they change, but you as a person grow and change. So when you hear people talking about growing apart because they don't know who they married, that's actually a real thing. That's not like a celebrity statement. You can grow differently, so you want to check that, your thoughts and everything are sort of in line, so that way, you know, and for us, as you can tell, the base has always been comedy. We take nothing seriously at any given time. It doesn't matter what it is, we can find something to laugh about, so that's kind of our common ground.
So, Trey, you said it was love at first sight for you.
Yes.
So who said I love you first? You can remember that because it's been such a long time.
You feel that because I have no idea.
I actually don't remember.
Okay.
Who
Okay.
said I love you first? but-
Because it has been a long time, so I mean.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, for me, to be honest, I saw a lack of romance, so it made me appreciate romance more. So and Trey's very romantic, so I really, okay, relax. So, yeah, so that was something that really drew me to him.
Well, my parents, they split when I was very young. So I didn't really see love and romance in the household like that. For me, it's like a lot of people that had single parents, you know, like they had the Cosby Show, they had like Fresh Prince and like all those shows. Yeah, to kind of see what that side is like, you know? So it wasn't really like a positive or a negative experience for me per se, but it's just something I didn't really see. And I guess I had to learn what it is and what it was myself. My mom had a heavy influence in how I should treat a woman. And yeah, that has really followed me through my journey with her.
So what things has your mom taught you?
Like she's like super big on etiquette, like whether it's like table etiquette or just, you know, how to treat people in day-to-day interactions and whatnot. But you know, like little things like holding the door open, you know, like being a chivalrous gentleman, stuff like that. That's what she would really push.
Awesome.
And how to cook.
It's good. So does he cook at home?
Not yet.
Not yet, you know. Not yet. For me, my mom really pushed self-love. She taught me to love myself. But I feel like that's like a journey on its own, like that you have to teach yourself along the way. Me and my parents have been together for 30 years, so so I've seen them go through ups and downs, and it's like they still work it out. So for me, it's marriage is viewed as, you know, it's important to me, and it shows like a lot of work goes into it.
You know, for me, it was, I never saw my mom, like I grew up with just my mom, and I never saw her like in love, you know? But I always knew that it was possible. You know, I read a lot as a little girl, and I watched a lot of movies and TV, so like I had this idea in my mind of what it was supposed to be, and then from her I saw what it was not supposed to be. You know, like not to say she didn't have relationships, I just never saw her like in love the way I thought someone should be deserved to love, if that makes sense.
Actually, well, like for love, that wasn't from my parents, that was actually from a guardian, because I used to live with my cousin. They're a married couple, so that's where I see like romance and love and family first. You know, that was my first initial start for that.
Do you guys think you guys are a romantic couple? Would you guys say that?
I think so.
Yeah.
And what shaped that?
I think same thing, like seeing other couples, like seeing, you know, like my aunt and uncle who have had a very long relationship, and you know, other people around me, mentors and things like that. But also for me, I kind of resolved it to how do I want to be treated, and that's how I try to treat him. Okay. I'm not always successful, but that's what I try to do.
Romance. I can't. You better take that
Our
one
parents
out.
were Christian. Like we thought
Take
they
the
prayed and
romance
had
out.
us.
Yeah,
You know what I
yeah,
mean?
yeah.
Like they would just
Yeah.
touch the hem of hallelujah, and
Yeah.
here we were. But no, actually, my parents displayed romance. But as you know, in the Caribbean household, that's something that's only done like behind doors. You know, so even to see like my dad trying to give my mom a peck, and she's just like, "Cha," you know. I'm just like, "Mom, you got a baby. Like, we know you kissed before." So romance was something that I feel like our parents learned from us because we were allowed to display it more publicly than they were. And my dad, to make sure that we avoided romance, would say that if a guy kisses you like this, you see on the TV, you're gonna get pregnant. So I always thought if a guy kissed you passionately, you would just instantly become pregnant. So at our wedding, when my now husband got a hold of me and gave me a kiss, as soon as I passed my dad when I was going down the aisle, he was like, pregnant. So I don't think they influenced us with romance, but in terms of how my parents influenced us with love was always an action word. I didn't hear them say it much, but I saw it in everything they did. And it was always the simplest of actions. You know, like my mom would never have to ask for coffee or tea because my dad just got up and made it. You know, and just certain things, it wasn't so much a routine. You actually could tell that he genuinely wanted to do it, and some things my mom genuinely wanted to do. So yeah, they definitely taught me love was an action word, and they also taught me that marriage is supposed to be fun. It's supposed to be enjoyable. They still have a good time. Their base isn't comedy, but they're just fun loving at all times. And my dad still looks at my mom like, if it was 40 years ago, it's still you. And 40 years later, it's still you. So that the fun element of being married, I learned from my parents.
With my parents, so my mom, we grew up in Jamaica for the most part. So for the most part, like growing up in Jamaica, before I came to Canada, and when I was 14 in 2001, my dad was always here in Canada. Well, he was in Cuba first, and then he came to Canada, and for that, I believe like 10-year stretch, like we didn't see him for a while, right? So for her to just hold it down, you know, taking care of me, and then just, you know, still loving him, still talking to him every day, and you know, it'd feel as if like, you know what I mean, they're, you know, everything is great, as if he's still around. But yeah, they definitely showed me love from that point of view. And then obviously when they finally encountered, they showed the romance by having my little sister immediately. Like that didn't waste any time.
At Bible study, right?
Yeah, I think that's what it went. But just as soon as they encountered coming from Jamaica, and my, you know, my little sisters was born, so I guess that that showed me something. But yeah, for sure, like their love, and they're still the same way right now. So it's a beautiful thing.
You mentioned your dad being away for a certain amount of time, and them still remaining, you know, connected and communicating. Now you're an athlete, so you do travel. Do you feel like you took some, I guess, like tips from what you saw your parents do to kind of keep your relationship alive when you are traveling and things like that?
To be quite honest with you, like we have it a lot better now with all these technologies, right? Like I'm able to actually see my kid's face, my wife's face, and everybody, you know what I mean? So think about back then is like, you know, especially being in the country in Jamaica, it's just like, you know, some military phone you're trying to talk from, and
broken connection.
Yeah, so it's crazy how now it's just, you know, everything feels like even more comfortable, like they're right there. You know, obviously it still doesn't beat being actually right there. But for me, like again, it's that communication part of it is a big thing. You know, we just want to make sure we constantly communicate a lot. You know, for me too, especially, you know, when we had the little ones, you know what I mean, I'm calling 24/7 just to make sure everybody's good, and so it's a blessing right now with everything. Yeah.
And it definitely tests your relationship, because if there's not a lot of substance there, what are you talking about? There's only so much you can discuss, and so to still be on the phone for hours and hours talking about things, even when we have the kids, it was really nice. And distance always makes our heart grow fonder. So the time away definitely strengthened things for us, but it's difficult. So yeah. Okay.
Especially
Children.
right now.
Children.
Can you go in depth of that? Like, how did children change your relationship? A lot of people think children fix your relationship.
No, children are not band-aids. But actually, no, children are band-aids. Because that's why people can get divorced when their kids leave. Because you realize the only thing that's kept you together has been your kids. That's why you have a lot of people that as soon as their kids go to college, mom and dad are separated. And you're like, what? They've been together for 30 years. Because if your only discussion is, are you dropping him to soccer? Are you picking him up? Are you this? Are you that? She's crying. She's sick. There's no actual interaction between the two of you. So when I say children, it's going to make or break you. Because it gives you an excuse to not face your own issues, because kids are like, they're a constant thing until they become adults and don't talk to you anymore, right? But at least for the first couple of years, they take up all your time. So they change things for us because, if anything, it's, you never get into marriage to plan to leave, but knowing that we have a family and two humans that we know we created out of love, it almost, even though I said I do forever, our kids are like forever, and we as this unit are forever. I just couldn't see my unit being any other way. So for me, it kind of instilled more of like a fight. So most people have had different experiences during the pandemic. So for me, anytime there's an issue that, or something I think is an issue, I'm not the person to stray from it. I will actually shut down our household, come up with couples games, you know, put in the box what we need to talk about. We have to face this head on and figure out a way to get past it. So kids change that because we don't have that kind of time anymore. When we were dating, I could be like, babe, tell me about your feelings and your thoughts, your dreams and hopes. Now it's like, we got 5 minutes, the kids are gonna wake up, what are we doing? So we have to make time. You have to choose your relationship first, because your kids are always first. So because of that, it actually forced me to check myself, because I'm 100% engaged with our kids, and so is he. And so it forced me to say, you know what, babe, if we're not careful, we don't have a date night. We don't even have a bed. We actually run a daycare out of our room. So our kids sleep, we got a larger bed to accommodate our kids. And then I remember a friend of mine saying, no, you can't do that. And I was just like, what do you mean? We want the Brady Bunch situation. We want to wake up and there's kids' foot, eyes, you know, all over us. But then she was like, no, but you guys will, you know, stray. And then I started thinking, we need to set date nights, we need to set boundaries, you gotta drop the kids off. So it's changed in the positive in terms of like, this is mine, and anything that comes from it is mine, period. But also you have to create time. So that's been the major change. And then obviously being a woman, lots of things change with you. Chemically, physically, emotionally. So I can imagine for him the last couple of years while I've gone through childbirth a couple of times, he's seen all 27 shades of me, you know, and then obviously your body changes. So you get a little bit insecure, and luckily, even though my husband's an athlete and he's always in peak condition, he's always complimentary to me, even if it's a lie. Appreciate it, you know what I mean? When I'm feeling like an ice cream sandwich in a cone, he's like, babe. And I'm just like, ew, that's your type? Really, that's where we're at? But you know, you go through so many changes, but to be able to be honest about it and to be able to share that and feel supported in that is really, really, because I don't feel the pressure to look like an athlete. I never have. And I'm not an athlete by any stretch of the imagination. So it's that those kind of changes, you have to have a good foundation, because if you have a partner who's not supportive, God help you, you feel like you're floating on an island.
For sure, I would say like the kids help enhance your relationship, because a lot of times, even if we get into arguments and stuff like that, you know, they're there to like say, "Mommy, are you okay?"
Yeah, and they'll actually.
And then you're just like, "Dang, like
it's not
is it really that serious?"
And our youngest one, she'll wake up in the morning, and if we're close enough, she turns our head for us to kiss. Yeah. One of the biggest things that's changed is when we were just dating, even when we were early married, we were like globetrotting, just doing it up, eating what we wanted, when we wanted. Now little people are asking for your food. And you know that last piece that you save of anything? Yeah. So it's been that part of it has changed, but we still travel with our kids. But I think the freedom to just move about has changed. Obviously, you're living big people life now. You got taxes, you know, you just got things you have to do. And so you don't want to get into a routine. That's the worst, where you feel like you clock in, you clock out, and do the same thing. So that part of it has changed for us because we're kind of adventure seekers in that way. But we found a way to incorporate the kids. You know, so the same things we used to look forward to doing, we just are like, ooh, let's find one where little people can come. You know, just change the criteria.
Right.
So that's probably been the biggest change for us.
But it hasn't changed much. Like, we just grow to appreciate each other more. And just like, she's like my best friend. Like, she's the one I talk about everything, you know, advice, everything. So I think we just grow to love each other more every day. Yeah.
Yeah, I think the partnership, more than anything, it's more of a partnership. Like, we really depend on each other, but it's not codependency. It's you know, I respect you, you respect me, and we enjoy being in each other's lives, and we work well together.
Yes.
Outside of a romantic relationship, I think we work really well together.
Are there really any differences?
For me, not yet. And it's also new for us to be living together. Have I noticed any changes yet? No.
But I would say that us living together, though, I have, like, I've always known I was the messy one. Like, I thought she was kind of messy, but she's a lot cleaner than I thought she was.
So I appeared as dirty.
No. I mean, it's like, cause like,
Okay.
no, I'm just saying, like, there was times where I couldn't go in your room. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But now it's like, she likes to clean, and I'm the total opposite. I'll just sit there in my filth.
And decorate and everything. And, yeah.
But yeah, we got a new couch today.
Yeah. So that's exciting. Yeah. I don't want him to get bored of me. That is my biggest fear. Like, what if I'm boring eventually in like 3 years?
Whoa, if you're bored in 3 years, that's.
I won't be, but I'm just saying. No, I think that's my biggest fear. Like, the love dying. I don't think it will, but that would be my biggest fear. The love dying.
I'd probably just say the like forever aspect of it. Like, it's just like, that's like, you're committing to like one person for the rest of your life. It's,
Is there a problem?
no.
Okay. Okay.
I'd say that's the biggest thing. Well, that, because I like as I said, my parents weren't together, and like, my aunt is the only one who's had a successful marriage so far.
So that's another difference with us. I come from a lot of, like, all my aunts, uncles, my family, everyone's married, whereas for him it's like, it's foreign.
Nobody. Getting married, like the whole, like,
all the steps.
Yeah, it's just, it wasn't, for me, it's just like, I choose you. Like, I choose you, Pikachu. But like, it wasn't, marriage wasn't a big thing for me.
Whereas for me, it was a big thing. It was a must for me.
Yeah.
So.
That I would be marrying somebody different. And that's a real thing.
To be honest with you, like,
No more pimping?
I was just more nervous at the wedding.
Okay.
I was more nervous at the wedding for sure. But yeah, like, I was ready.
Right.
I mean, I just,
He was more ready than me.
yeah.
I was concerned that everything that he had said to get me married was gonna go out the window when we got married, because that's what past relationships look like. You take every step to make sure you're not this kind of person, and then the moment you say yes, I'll be with you, night and day.
Society says.
Having the same bank account.
Oh,
That
yeah.
made me nervous. I'm
Yeah.
not gonna lie. I grew up with a single mother, and all my life I heard, have your own things, and so when I was presented with this option, I was like, whoa,
Yeah.
we're not gonna do that.
Yeah, I
and
had to go into that.
yeah, it took a lot of convincing. I was very stubborn about it, but now I see the benefits, and I've changed my ways.
Yeah.
Not to say that I don't have my little pockets,
Yeah.
but I've learned that to be a true family unit, it means in all aspects of our lives we share that.
Yeah.
And we can't have division in one and togetherness in the other. It doesn't work.
Yeah, I'm excited to have little mini people.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, like starting a family, just enjoying life together, like,
Mhm.
it's vacations and the fun, and just like building a life together, like our first house, and like just building a whole life together with someone.
Yeah, I be having baby fever, seeing all these little babies on
Me
Instagram.
too. I'm excited.
What was that thing?
I think it was just like feeling like a big one. You know what I mean? Like nobody can talk to you. Yeah, I think to be honest, what I was looking forward to the most was, I always used to say to him when we were dating and like he'd come over.
We weren't living together at the time, so obviously that would be the big thing, right?
Babe, I was not looking forward
so
to
you
living
was
with
excited to live with me.
you. No.
Yes, he was.
And I'm still not excited about living with you. Okay? If you are not married yet, go over to your potential husband's place and see how they live in.
But they won't show it them times though.
But you did. You showed me all. Yes.
Did I?
Yeah.
Didn't I
At
trap
one
you
time
first?
I went in your room and I thought you got robbed. And I found out that's
No,
just
but
how
you
you
can't be
live.
sneaking in my room. You gotta tell me in advance.
But
You
the
gotta
next
give me-
time I went
give me
by,
2 days notice.
I almost got killed by Lysol. You know what I mean? So he tried to trap me after the fact. Yeah, I would probably say, obviously, yes, living together and being able to do whatever you want, whenever you want. But the biggest thing that I was looking forward to was when he used to come over, and we would hang out before my dad finds, getting late, time to go. I used to.
You used to do that, actually?
Come,
Wow.
Sadie, come downstairs. No words, just signals.
So that's why I used to come in the room so sweet and say, "Oh, it's getting late.
Yeah, you know,
It's
just
getting late." I was like wondering, I'm like, "Yo, I thought we were just getting comfortable to watch a movie."
yeah.
You kicked me out.
Because I told you, Daddy said if we kiss, I'm gonna get pregnant. So if it's kissing hour, you got to go. But we used to lay down, and we used to always have very long conversation. And one time, you're not gonna remember this, but one time I messaged him and said, "Where's your favorite place in the world?" And I can't remember what his answer was. Like, being a true Jamaican, I think he said like home, like, or something like that. And so he said, "What about you?" And I said, "In your arms." Like, that's the only place. It doesn't matter what's happening. If I have the worst day at work and I come home and you just pick up your arm and I can drop under it, everything shuts off. And in my line of work, there's a lot of days like that.
But yeah, it's definitely a beautiful thing. Like questions again, we ask again.
Yes. Okay. It's not
That last night. For sure, 100%. Like living together was the thing. Yeah, I just couldn't wait to just us having our own space, and what I mean, we could do whatever we want. You know what I mean? And it, yeah, just
to be together all the time.
So, just looking forward to just being around her 24/7, and yeah, that was
And we still look forward to that now. I know it sounds kind of corny, but I still message him, "When are you coming home? How far are you?" And the same thing. And we don't like to really be apart from each other. So I know that for me, that's really important, because a lot of people are always just like, "Can you get your own space?" But we still enjoy each other's company. And like I said, not for the superficial reasons, right? Like, this is my homie before my husband. You know what I mean? That's the key, is like this. If you want to hang out with your best friend all the time, that's what your marriage should feel like. It shouldn't be your only friend. Let's just clarify that. You don't go from having a ton of people to just relying on everything for them. That's silly. You need another network.
Right.
But if you had to choose who you want to spend your time with, it should be the person you married to.
Like for me, like marriage, because we've been a couple before, like a couple of years before. It's just a continuation,
It didn't feel different.
It didn't
feel different.
'Cause
For me, if I'm gonna be so honest, it's the security, right? If God said, "Boom," and me gone, I don't have that worry because I know, you know, the family structure will continue even if I'm not there, right? So that's something that I value. And it comes out in even the simplest way. It's like, you wouldn't even believe it, bringing your kid to the hospital and not having to answer question like, is this your husband? Like, yes, we have the same last name. You know what I mean? Like, it doesn't become an added issue. You know, so it sounds trivial, but those things make a difference.
I'm very selective of my friends, and like, you see, cause I'm getting older, I'm still young, right? Don't get it twisted, but cause I'm getting older, right? I have to start like setting things in place for my kids, right? So I'm very focused on that. Like the time I have here, like I spend a lot of time like building for family and kids, right? So that's where like I have friends. I have a lot of friends still. Yeah. I put most of my time into me and my family.
Okay.
And it does pay off.
That's good.
Trust me.
That's good. And what about you?
What about you?
I mean, I've had the same group of friends since high school, so like, I'm probably not the best person to answer this. But I'm not gonna lie, there's some friendships that I feel have past their season, and it's just because of being on two different paths of life, and that's fair and that's fine. But I do feel like when we, not so much when we got married, but when we got serious the second time around, I did lose a lot of friends who definitely weren't real friends to begin with, but
I could say the same too.
yeah.
So I have some friends. It's a different lifestyle.
Yeah.
So yeah, I had to like kind of switch up things a bit.
This, not sacrifice, that's a strong word, but the commitments that we were making to each other, our friends at the time weren't willing to make those same commitments with us.
That's fair.
Yeah.
Right? And it is a joint venture. Like, no matter how you want to look at it, when two people connect, it's everybody attached to this person and everyone attached to that person, you know? So, I mean, if you're at the wedding, you made it. If you didn't, sorry.
For real, we got friends who are pimping, we got friends who are married. Like, you name it, and you have to kind of keep a mix, right? Because when you're married, every sentence starts with my husband, and I personally am one of those people that can't stand that kind of stuff. It just makes it seem like you went from having a world to now you're only somebody's spouse. How whack is that? I'm still Joanna. I'm still fabulous. I still have my friends, my interests, and he's still Gavin. So when he tells me,
We got fans.
I'm gonna, yes, you have fans, babe.
We got groupies.
Yeah, Wooly put him. But when he says to me he's going out with his friends, I like pack a lunch bag, because you need to keep your own identity. You know what I mean? You still have to be separate. Of course, you're a unit and you're a team, but I feel like that strengthens you, because you don't want to mash your identity into, you don't even know what you like anymore. But it's really important for you to still remember who you are and what you like. Like for me, I'm a wife. That's priority. I'm a mother. That's obviously priority, but those are not my two titles. And not even my profession. Like I'm still fun and I'm still sassy, and you know what I mean? I still like to go and have a good time and have jokes. So you really have to make sure that there's something else. And my concern also is, I'm always thinking, if this is the only person, I don't want to be one of those people that, like, you know, when you get old and they pass, you can't survive kind of thing. So my independent identity within my marriage is important, and my crew is important. And because we both know that, he'll actually be like, babe, you haven't been out with your friends in a while. You need to set up a night. But don't get tricked. After a couple hours, babe, you need to come home. The kids are out here looking for you.
Yet.
No, not yet. Everything's... Well, I think there would be some changes if we weren't in a pandemic, because like we can't see people anyways, right? We can't invite, we can't go out, so no changes yet. I don't think.
Yeah, I don't think there's been any changes.
Yeah, like everyone's happy for us. No one's like.
Everyone's very
Yeah.
happy.
No one seems jealous or anything like that.
No, not. Yeah, no, no, yeah, it's been the same.
Okay, good.
Let me start with annoying.
Yeah, go for that.
Dre's actually very annoying. I'm sorry. No, in a sense that like he's very he just knows how to pick at me. Like he knows what bothers me, and then he'll like
Just push those buttons.
yeah, you know how to push my buttons
I'm like mad intrusive, eh?
on purpose.
Yeah. All the time.
Like that's the best way. Like you know what bothers me, you still do.
What's the most annoying thing about her time management?
Yeah, that's facts.
We were supposed to be here when?
Well, first of all, no,
I'm just saying,
but Trey, it's not your fault too.
I mean, yeah, teamwork, I guess, but like,
Oh, you're fraud.
come on.
Get out of here.
Yeah, it's probably the most.
Yeah, my time
annoying
management
thing.
is bad. It is bad.
Okay.
But I love how patient you are with me.
And what do you love about him?
Oh yeah, that part.
Only the one part, you know. Now you're so annoying. Anyways, next question.
Oh my god. Okay, he's a very thoughtful person. He it's so annoying. See, like don't touch me. Kidding. No, he's very thoughtful. That's one of the. Yeah, he's very thoughtful. He listens to me when I say things, and he remembers, and he's very thoughtful. Like just for example, the whole the proposal story alone. He made sure everything was about 7, and he made sure it was at our favorite spot. Like everything is very thought through. So I really love that about you, babe.
Oh yeah, even her ring, there's all kind of things with that.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, even yesterday with the versus battle, she was doing something in the bathroom, so I moved the laptop closer to the door so she could hear it.
Like who does that? Like I know.
That's so thoughtful.
Sometimes I like my personal space to do my thing. She just always just want to be up in my girl. And yeah, so. But for the most part, I enjoy her company. And I just love being around her.
So it's like you want her there, but like not too
Right.
Yeah.
like sit her there.
Like, when we're in the house,
Yeah.
like, cause I do other things, right? I run my own business, and I do like music and stuff, right? Sometimes I just need my space, to just do my thing, and but what we do though, we have a show that we watch together. I think that's one of the best thing.
What show is that?
The challenge. I love her personality,
Thanks.
and she's so caring. She's very caring. Yeah.
Okay. Well, what annoys me, no, I'm kidding. One thing that I think you're working on is being able to communicate when you're not happy. So when it's difficult emotions, it annoys me that you shut down instead of saying what it is that's bothering you.
Yeah, it's a man thing.
And it's also, I think it's beyond that. I think it's just part of how you were raised and the circumstances in your childhood. But also it's my personality too, because I'm the type of person, like, I don't think people are upset with me, and I don't know why. It bothers me. So that's also something I'm working on. It also annoys me, like the little things. Like when you don't come under the covers properly.
Yeah.
Like that bothers me.
There's too much things to move, man. Like sometimes I just want to jump from the bed and just cover myself.
So is it because there's a lot of pillows on the bed and stuff?
Yeah, there's a lot of pillows.
It's a normal bed.
There's
There's like a 1-2 throw.
There's 3 layers of sheet. Yo.
You just lift it. Like, it's not hard. You know, and little things like that.
And she's a neat freak too. Yeah.
I like cleanliness.
Yeah.
That's it. But what I love about you is that you're extremely hardworking. You're so kind and patient. You're a damn good father.
Thank you.
And I like that you're very supportive of me. Like, you never tell me no, which is not necessarily a good thing, but I like that. You never tell me no. Like, even if it's something that I don't deserve to have, you'd be like, oh, fine.
Yeah, I just
But you
want her to
never
be
tell me
happy.
no. You can keep doing that though.
Well, I didn't eat.
He wasn't eating from the day before.
Yeah. Her favorite number 7.
Mm-hmm.
So on the 7th day of the 7th month, I decided to take her to a restaurant that we like, a little cafe. It's called 7 West. So 777. The reservation was at 7. So yeah, we enjoyed our food or whatever. It was.
You didn't eat it.
Yeah, I didn't really did. And then later on, like I'm getting kind of nervous just like retelling the story.
And to me, it's like, why are you nervous? But I don't know.
So yeah, after we got there and whatnot, so after we finished eating, I went to the bathroom. I gave the lady my phone. I told her like, yeah, I'm about to come out soon and just record. Like wait a minute and then start recording and then yada yada yada. So honestly, I tried to write down what I was going to say for like a good long while, but nothing was coming to mind for me to write. So I just set up the camera, I turned to her, I grabbed her hands, and I just started talking. Like, it was just like word vomit for a good, like, I don't know, like 3 minutes. Like, I didn't even give her a chance to say yes. Like, I just kept talking.
Yeah.
But yeah, she said yes, and I had to view the scene time.
Through ups and downs.
We shall
Work it
persevere.
Work it out. No,
I'd probably say longevity. Yeah.
I'll say teamwork.
Okay, there we
We're a
go.
team, a solid team.
And just love, to be honest, because like, we've put in
And
time,
a lot of time.
effort to get here. So
That's true. A lot of hard work, time, effort,
sweat,
energy.
tears, blood, everything,
A
everything.
lot.
Honesty, because anybody who knows us knows I will always tell you the truth about what's going on. No sugarcoating, because telling you a lie helps you to perpetuate a lie. So I will have people say, how's it going? And I'm like, I don't like him right now. And that's where we're at. Today, maybe not. But tomorrow you ask me and I'm like, girl, looking at that wedding video again. So you go through phases. So honesty, I would say, is one. Fun. I like to think we're still fun.
That's what I'll go with, fun.
Yeah, funny. Yeah, you wouldn't know what we did if we didn't tell you, because we would just look like bums in terms of how we talk and carry on. But I like that we're not our professions, or we lead with that or something like that. We just want to be happy. Happy is definitely one. And in terms of bringing to the world as a couple, it hasn't always been smooth sailing. We've had our own hiccups, whether it be in dating and even early part of marriage, child. That's an adjustment, living with somebody that you haven't before. So we've had our adjustments, but I think the one thing that we both know, and I think that's a common factor for us, is like, when you get married, that's it. Period. So there's no exit. There's no out strategy. Whatever it is, we're gonna fix it and continue to fix it and make it work. And I know that because of his family background. So that was important in terms of his parents having the same ideology and my parents having the same ideology. So there's no quitter in either of us when it comes to our relationship. Every day I tell him I'm gonna leave him. And I get more specific about who I'm gonna leave him for, you know? But I know he knows that will always be a joke. There'll never be anything serious about that, but
It'll
yeah.
just be a hassle from there because you're gonna be got girls bidding for me. Like you don't want that.
Babe, anybody who's interested, call my number at.
Okay, our mission statement is meant to be. Because no matter how hard we've tried throughout our lives together to not be together, we always end up
Back together.
back together.
Yeah. Which is meant to be. Yeah.
And I think that makes us meant to be. Get counseling.
Actually, yeah, that does help. You know.
We did a year of counseling before
Yeah.
we got married, and it was the best decision we ever made with our past. Like
Yeah.
that.
Because that could help. Because sometimes, you know, individuals, they have their like past traumas and like stuff they have to be dealing with, and like talking about it and finding like ways to deal with that will help you to progress on. Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. And just remember why you got into the situation in the first place. You know, a lot of times even we have to like talk ourselves off that like routine and the like monotony of life. Like just because you're doing life with a person doesn't mean you can't also have love and romance and affection, you know? So be aware of what you're giving your time to. Prioritize each other.
Yeah.
For sure. Yeah.
And I want to add something to that. And expectations, yeah. Don't make your expectation be like too high and like unrealistic, because that breaks people apart. You know, you have to know to just work together, love each other for who they are. You know, and communicate. Communication is a key too. Yeah. Absolutely.
Well, I'll say if you're single right now and you're thinking about getting married and all that, do all your dirt first before you jump into something, because yeah, it just doesn't make sense for it to like, yeah, just don't do that. Yeah. I did my dirt. I'm good. No, like in back in the day, like I was like, I'm good. I had my whoring phase.
What's wrong with you? Yo.
Everyone needs to go through that phase, you know what I'm saying? I did mine. Oh,
I agree.
100%.
Just make sure you're ready.
Divorce ain't cheap. You gotta pay divorce lawyer fees, all sorts of things, and then what was it, alimony, something like that.
Just make sure that you wanna put energy and time to the person that you're pursuing.
True.
That's what I have to say about that.
And also for the dudes out there, make sure you love. You love like your woman's different faces, like when they just wake up and they have that mata in their eye. Make sure you think they're so beautiful, you know.
That's true.
They have like their bonnet on at nighttime. They got their freaking gel braids and things
He's
like
really
that, you know.
just talking my life.
No, I'm just saying in general.
Okay.
Or even when they're mad and like they're yelling at you, if you think that they're beautiful at the same time, then you're good.
That's true. You should love every part of someone. Love every part of them. You should see every face. Yeah, that's true. That's good.
I would definitely say be patient, you know. This is a very trying time, especially during this pandemic. I see the numbers rising with not just the cases and stuff like that, but also like with divorces.
Yes.
So, you know, and then some people, they might jump the gun too quick, you know what I mean? It could be a situation where it could have been resolved. You know, especially after you trying to get those documents signed out, you're like thinking to your head probably like, what am I doing, right? So it's just be patient. It's a trying time, and you know, there's a lot of things you could do during this time to make things better. You know, whether it be something as simple as, you know, husband getting up to cook dinner, you know, wife, you know what I mean, giving a massage or something, you know what I mean?
I don't know why you looking up. Why?
I'm just saying, you never gave me a massage in a while, so, you know what I mean, I'm at that point in my life.
You saying husband's cooking, and I was about to ask if you know where kitchen is.
But yeah, so it's, you know, I think, you know, we found our way to, you know, and definitely, again, communication is a big thing.
Huge.
You know what I mean? Just
It's not a cliche.
yeah, just
It's
make
huge.
sure you communicate a lot. You know, especially with how you're feeling. You know, if you're feeling any type of way, that's gonna do something to hurt the relationship. Just you know, speak out how you're feeling, and then you know, see if you could come to that common ground to figure things out.
I would say if you are engaged or dating and thinking about getting married, and probably thinking whatever's been happening during the pandemic is like, oh no, maybe this is a sign, or it's not a sign, or it's not no, there's no billboards, right? If this is the person you want to be with, there's a section in your vows that says for better or worse. So if this is the worst, you've lost your job, he's not working, you guys don't know what's happening, and you can find a way to make it work, I think you'll be okay through any storm. Because for a generation of now, the fact that you can't have things now teaches you to be patient. If anything, it's a time for you in your relationship to reflect about yourself. It's very easy to be like, well, the problem is you know, and this is what you don't do. But when you're pointing this way, there's a finger pointing back at you. So what we took the time to do was we realized our lives were too busy before the pandemic. I realized that my work was taking over everything and also dictating my emotions. It was hard for me to step back, but I decided, for me, self-evaluation is key. I would prefer to call myself out before you do. So if we get in an argument and I know I turned into Drake, I went from 0 to 100 real quick, I'll be the first one to be like, babe, you know what? I got a little loud too quick. So I'm just gonna own that. So own your 50% of the problem and take the time to clean yourself up. You know, you were thinking that we're not married yet, or we're not getting married yet because of external matters. Well, no, it's probably God telling you, take a little bit of time, check yourself, make sure you're in the right place to be ready for marriage, okay? Marriage it's not a status. It's actually something that, like, people's lives are involved, families are involved. Mm-hmm. So you want to make sure that you're in the right place to really accept everything that comes with it. It has to be different. Mm-hmm. So for anybody who's in a certain place, look at the silver lining. Like, if there's nothing else, if everything is wrong in your relationship, if you still love each other, you have something to work with, right? And anything in life that's worthwhile, you have to fight for it all the time. My husband is not mine. There are women waiting to take him. He said he's waiting to be bidded on. Look at that. I didn't even know that. I got to step it up. Right? So, but he's correct. There's temptation. There are ladies who are thinking, he looks happy. You know, he looks whatever. And if he's not happy with me, that's how things enter your relationship. It starts as a platonic conversation because you're not communicating, right? And then the next thing you know, he didn't physically cheat, but emotionally he's somewhere else because I'm not doing that. So it's just one of those things where you have to check and see what's missing and check and see what needs to be filled in. So yeah, the pandemic was a lot of like, oh, really? Yeah? Okay. But then it was like, okay, I get it. I hear you. And this is what we're going to do. So just do the work. Use it to do the work. Because if you're thinking marriage is going to be the easy part, so I would say to anybody, just stick it out, because if you can get through this, which makes it seem like everything is going wrong at this particular moment, and your person is there to say, I got you, I mean, what more could you really ask for?
Thank you guys so much.
Thanks for having us.
We can stop acting now?
And cut.
That was good. Thank you guys.
Thank you for having us.